Okay. Hello, viewers. Mornings. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good. Or excellent. What? Alright. Look. I've always told people that, that Nintendo should have stayed with the Wii U. Because the answer was right in front of their face. And with the Wii U, they had every angle, every direction of video game covered, because they had console gaming covered, handheld gaming covered. They had gaming on the controller. They had motion gaming, and then they had streaming and remote play covered with the Wii U. And plus, they had the external hard drive support. The 25 gig CD, they could put some more space on it, put it like 100 gigs on it, and the hard drive they could put what 25 to 30 terabytes on it. So the answer was right there in front of their face. So the biggest problem with the Wii U was never sales, it was never marketing, it was never branding. The biggest problem with the Wii U is what? The 3DS. Because with the Wii U, Nintendo created a cartridge versus CD problem. That's number one. Number two, it was sitting on the same network. And number three, they were trying to serve two formats at the same time, and it did not work because they didn't get the same results what they were looking for, right? Then they have the virtual console to deal with. The virtual console is made for what? Natural disasters, right? But the virtual console is like your cave, your bunker, your archive, your bookstore, your library for your video games. Yeah, your museum for your video games. That's what a virtual console is for. So the only problem, the answer to the Wii U problem now was to get rid of the 3DS and take every single game that you got from the NES, Super Nintendo, 64, GameCube, Wii, even the Switch. The Switch should have never been built. Even the Switch. Take all those games, put them in the virtual console, so you can play them on the Wii U. Okay, all those games that are on the Game Boy, on the handhelds like the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy SP, the DS, the 3DS. All those games were supposed to be in the virtual console, so you can play those games on the Wii U. So it was never sales. So when I saw the problem, how I discovered this is when I went inside the Wii U's eShop, and I'm sitting there looking at the 3DS games and the Wii U games in the same eShop on the same network, and I'm sitting there looking at them like, wait a minute, how is it that I can't play the DS games, buy the 3DS games and play them on the Wii U? The moment I brought that up in a YouTube video, Nintendo removed the 3DS from the Wii U eShop. So when you went back into Wii U's eShop now, all you saw was Wii U games. And that's when I realized what they were saying wasn't true, saying that it was sales, it was marketing, and they were trying to say the Wii U was a commercial failure. Then YouTubers try to say it was branding and all this, and all of that is false. The biggest problem with the Wii U was the 3DS. It was in the Wii U's way, and Nintendo created a cartridge versus CD problem. They were sitting on the same network, and Nintendo Corporation was trying to serve two formats at the same time, and it didn't work. And they were expecting to get the same results, and they were trying to avoid the virtual console so they can build something new. So the Wii U was never salesman. The difference between the Wii U and the Switch is this: the Switch is one format, the Wii U is two. That's the difference. So when it comes to the Wii U now, the Switch should have never been built because the answer was right in front of Nintendo's face. They choose to go against it. So while I say that, here comes Sony with the PlayStation Portal. It's the same thing, because why? You have gaming on the PS5 controller covered. You got handheld gaming covered. You got console gaming covered. You got streaming and remote play covered. And then you have your external hard drive support with the PlayStation 5 store to deal with. It's the same thing as the Wii U. The difference between the Wii U and the PlayStation 5, the Wii U was dealing with two situations. It's two format. The PlayStation 5 is one format. That's the difference. Listen to this. Okay? Listen to this. We're talking about the PlayStation 5. And guess what? People that are using the PlayStation Portal, they love it. People that are using the PlayStation Portal with the PlayStation 5 and the PS5 controller, they love it. Why? Because they had experience with the Wii U. Okay? The biggest problem with the Wii U was never sales or marketing or branding. The biggest problem with the Wii U was the 3DS. It's in the Wii U's way. And Nintendo Corporation refused to give it up. That's what the problem was. Listen to this. It says here, PlayStation 5 firmware beta adds custom audio remote play settings and adaptive charging. It says here, Sony will launch a new PS5 firmware beta on Thursday, July 25th. This update introduced personalized 3D audio, new remote play settings, and adaptive controller charging. And then it says, has a video here. I will leave the link in the description box. It says, users who enjoy PS5 3D audio can now personalize their experience by using telephones or earbuds. You can create your own audio profile. This feature lets you adjust individual elements to suit your taste. Head to your console sound settings and follow the new setup process to tweak the audio. A new quality of life improvements let you control who can connect to your PS5 through remote play. If your friends or family take turns accessing your system, you can now manage this easily. Go to settings, select system, then remote play, and choose enable remote play. From there, you can see a list of users sign in on your PS5 and toggle their access. Adaptive controller charging. This update also includes adaptive control charging. This feature is available only on the new slim PS5 model. It charges your controller based on their current battery level while in resting mode. Sorry about that. Saving energy. You can enable this option in the power saving settings. This feature applies to DualSense wireless controller, DualSense Edge controller, PlayStation VR2 Sense controller, and Access controller. And it says the availability. The beta is available to selected participants in the US, UK, Canada, Japan, Germany, and France. Okay, that's the update for the PlayStation 5. Now for the Portal. Let's see, where's the PlayStation Portal? Listen to this. It says here, and this is from WCCF Tech. I was supposed to cover this, but I forgot. But anyway, it says here, PlayStation Portal's new update improves performance, expands connectivity option. It says here, a new PlayStation Portal system software update went live a few hours ago, introducing improvements to the remote play focus handheld device released last year. The new update version 3.0.1 not only introduced unspecified system software performance and stability, but also expands connectivity option by allowing the system to connect to a wider range of public networks, including a certain 5 GHz network. Regarding performance, multiple users on the system subreddit report improvement, but more thorough testing will be required to see if the improvements are actually real. It says here, related story, PlayStation 5. Okay, anyway, it says here, albeit smaller, it's nice to hear Sony expanding the PlayStation Portal options, as the system has the potential to be something more than just a remote play machine. As of now, at least the console does well what it is meant to do, as highlighted by Kai in his review. The PlayStation Portal isn't quite as portable a successor that player has been asking for from Sony since the decline of the PlayStation Vita. That statement is false. The PlayStation Vita is a joke. Goodbye. Anyway, says that being said, the PlayStation Portal does have one job, and it does it exceedingly well. It might not reinvent the remote play experience, but for the it is reinventing the remote play experience. You're wrong on that again. But anyway, it says but for those relying on controller clips to mount a phone to the top of their dual sense controller or third-party controller that use a mobile device as the display. An official Sony product just makes sense for a unified solution. It might not replace the backbone controller and other device that players might have in their home, but the PlayStation, that's not true. That statement is false too, because with the PlayStation Portal you can put a motherboard, a CPU, GPU inside of it to go with that 8-inch screen. So that statement is false. But anyway, it says here, but the PlayStation Portal might wind up being a controller that players start reaching for first. The PlayStation Portal system is now available worldwide. Everything, basically, the PlayStation Portal is just like the Wii U. The difference between the PlayStation Portal and the Wii U is that you're dealing with one format with the PlayStation 5 and the Portal, just one format. With the Wii U, you were dealing with two formats. You were dealing with a cartridge, you were dealing with a CD situation, and then you had a cartridge situation that you were dealing with. You can't serve two things at the same time. Now, with the difference between the Switch and the Nintendo Wii U, the Switch is one format. The Wii U is two. The Wii U, you're dealing with a CD system, that is the Wii U, but then you have the 3DS that the Nintendo users, they try to hide in the background, and they try to hide it in the background, and they were trying to act like the 3DS was never creating a problem when it was. Okay? So that's the difference with the PlayStation 5 and the Portal versus the Wii U. The PlayStation 5 and the Portal is one format. The Wii U is two. The difference between the Switch and the Wii U, the Switch is one format. The Wii U is two. The biggest problem with the Wii U was never sales, it was never marketing, it was never branding. And Watch Mojo, IGN, GameSpot, they need to correct those statements. The biggest problem with the Wii U was never sales. The biggest problem with the Wii U was the 3DS. Nintendo need to get rid of it, and they refuse to do it. That was the problem. Once you move the 3DS out the way, then you have the Wii U and just the Virtual Console to deal with. That's the problem. But with the PlayStation Portal now, it's just one format, and Sony don't have to build a Vita or build a PSP. They got the Portal with the PlayStation 5 to deal with, and the PlayStation 5 store, and that's it. But other than that, man, the PlayStation Portal is really good. Based on these updates that's being added, the experience with the PlayStation Portal is good, and people that are using the Portal, they love it. They love using it. So Sony is adding updates after updates to improve the experience. But the PlayStation Portal is better than the PSP. That's one. It's better than the Vita. That's two. Yeah, it is. So Sony's gonna have to stick with the Portal and the PS5 with the PS5 controller going forward. But that's the answer is right there. It was the same thing with the Wii U, but the only difference is Nintendo created a cartridge versus CD problem, and they never told the world that they did. The only person that ever brought that statement up, you're looking at him, okay? Because I play video games. Look, and I saw the problem, and I'm addressing it. The biggest problem with the Wii U was never sales. The biggest problem with the Wii U was the 3DS, and all those games that are on the 3DS, DS, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Boy SP, Game Boy, NES, Super Nintendo 64, GameCube, the Switch, the Wii, all those games were supposed to be in the Virtual Console, so you can play them on the Wii U. But now with the PlayStation 5 and the Portal, what Sony is doing is capitalizing off Nintendo's mistakes. Nintendo made three mistakes with Sony. One, when they built the Super Nintendo CD, when they built a Super Nintendo built a CD system for the Super Nintendo, That's one. Number two is with Soul Calibur, because Nintendo could have stopped Sony from having Soul Calibur 3 to themselves. All Nintendo had to do was tell Namco, like, okay, look, we're not going to stop Xbox and PlayStation from getting Soul Calibur 3. Okay, use Link as you see fit in Soul Calibur. That's all they had to say. And the third mistake that Nintendo made with PlayStation is when they gave up on the Wii U, and then Sony capitalized off that mistake with the PlayStation 5 and the Portal. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy though. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek fan. Bored, Dark Side. Go. Peace.